No water, no power, crybabies. Everyone's complaining. These people have no clue how bad it could be. Praying for those that got hit hard, lost homes, lives, businesses, lost everything. Thank you, God, for helping those with divine, highly blessings. Godspeed, only love, HH. Tweets by Hulk Hogan that were sent out Thursday. And I'm just going to say this much. Hogan 1 needs to learn how to use the space bar. I mean, I know there's only 140 characters on Twitter, but he could spread that out over 3 tweets. And Hogan is going to talk about people being crybabies when he did nothing but cry and cry and cry when that sex tape got released, or when he got divorced, or when a bunch of hardships hit him and suddenly his money went from here down to here. Where maybe karma got him. Maybe karma got him. Now, to be fair, am I saying that Linda Hogan was a great person? No. Linda Hogan's like if a wax figure came to life and then somehow became as bitchy as a Kardashian or a Jenner. Only somehow uglier. Not that any of them are attractive. Moving on. Hogan, had that happen. He had the whole thing happen with his son when his son stupidly drove and killed one of his friends. One of the son's friends, not one of Hogan's friends. Because, Nick thought he was above the law. And then the sex tape thing. The racist rant thing. Where people still stuck by him. They stuck by Hogan. Because they believed in Hulk Hogan. They believed in the man, Hulk Hogan. They believed in the power of Hulkamania and all that. Let me say this much. I was a big Hulkamaniac when I was a kid. Even though guys like Randy Savage, Bret Hart, and various others were a shit ton better than Hogan could ever be in the ring. Hogan still drew a lot of eyeballs to wrestling. He did. Now looking back on it, he's clearly buried a whole lot of talents. But Hogan did a lot for wrestling. That being said, the fact that he would call people crybabies and then all he did was cry and cry and cry and cry when that racist rant got released, saying that's not him, well, clearly it was Hogan. And clearly it still is, because clearly you haven't learned and haven't become a better person because of it. You claim to be a man that has God running through you. And yet you're going to call people that lost everything crybabies. And I'm sorry, those tweets together, that's basically what he's saying. Oh, people are complaining. Yeah, people probably don't want to lose all their shit, their homes, their pets, their loved ones, their items, that kind of stuff. People that probably poured their life savings into those homes, into all those possessions, could have been timeless possessions, family heirlooms, that kind of stuff that got passed down generation to generation that are gone. Hogan, you clearly do not have a grasp on reality. There is something very wrong with you. I don't know, maybe all the tanning got to your brain, what's left of it. Maybe your skullet, which is basically what it is, your hair. Maybe it, wasn't covering enough and all the sun fried your brain. Maybe your brain just up and left when you got divorced or when you did the sex tape and the racist rant. And I don't care what anybody says. Like, look, everybody can make a mistake. I'm a former racist. I used to be incredibly racist and incredibly homophobic. I've said that in videos before, but I got better. I make jokes about a whole lot of stuff, but I got better. I got that hate out of me. It doesn't sound like Hogan gives a good goddamn about anybody but himself. Oh, let's see. Yeah, the Godspeed, only love, HH. There were people tweeting to him saying that they supported him. Okay, fine, whatever. This shows a blatant lack of understanding of what people lost. Calling them crybabies. Yet all he did was cry whenever, any little hardship happened to him. Well, Hogan, if you were any better with your money and your choice of women, then you probably wouldn't have had to have sued Gawker to get a bunch of money back. I mean, seriously. This is why Hogan is on so many people's shit lists. And I want to say this much, I was willing to forgive Hulk Hogan. I even started a top 20 favorite WCW superstars list, or favorite WCW wrestlers list, where I ranked Hogan in the first part, a little bit lower than people might guess, but still, I ranked him on the list because he did a lot for WCW and still did a lot for wrestling. And again, I was willing to maybe get on the side of forgiving Hogan for the racism and all that. Because maybe I thought that he learned. He didn't. Clearly he didn't. And I kept a shirt from one of my Impact Wrestling brown bag specials. From the Hogan, TNA Impact Wrestling run. That's where it's going to go. It's going to go in the trash, which is what Hogan is. Hulk Hogan is trash. He's a trash human being for what he said here. Blatant lack of understanding of what people lost. You wouldn't know what actual loss is, Hogan. Because a lot of that stuff that happened is your fault. The divorce, okay, whatever. The divorce could be a mulligan, I guess. But that whole thing with Gawker, that's your fault. That racism, that's on you for being blatantly racist. You for being hateful. Okay, if he learned from that, fine. He clearly didn't learn human compassion, though. And I'm sorry, but I have no sympathy for Hogan. Clearly he didn't lose much in the hurricane, if anything at all, because otherwise he might be saying, brothers, sisters, I lost something. It's a terrible thing what happened. It's a terrible thing. We're all affected. Let's do our best to make things, great, for everybody. Let's all love and support each other. Not use the term crybabies. Yeah, sorry, Hogan. People might not be able to necessarily come to grips with the fact that they lost everything. What have you lost, Hogan? What have you lost? Nothing. You haven't lost a goddamn thing. Because you still have your money. Oh, you still have your health somewhat. Look, I'll never take away what Hogan did for pro wrestling. And he's done a lot. He's done a lot of good. He's done a lot of bad. But he has done a lot for pro wrestling. But I have no respect for the man Hulk Hogan. As he has proven in the last few years especially, to be, quite frankly, a piece of shit. And a lot of people that have been saying Hogan is not the best guy, they're pretty right. So that's what I gotta say about that. And then one more piece. And it's about another piece of shit male athlete. Floyd Money Mayweather. Let me read this. It's talking about Trump's comments about grab women by the you-know-what. So I'm not even going to say because Trump disgusts me. And he's a disgusting pile of trash that's stinking up the White House. Of course, Trump dismissed that whole thing as locker room talk. And Floyd Mayweather, who has an extensive history of violence against women, by the way, and this is from the Sports Illustrated article. Sports Illustrated does great work, by the way. Trump's comments are how a real man talks. No, Floyd, they're how a piece of shit talks. You would know about being a piece of shit, wouldn't you? You illiterate, woman-beating motherfucker. If Floyd, I couldn't beat Floyd in a fight. I damn sure couldn't do that, and I wouldn't try. But I could sure damn beat him in a reading contest. Because Floyd, for all his money and all his flamboyancy and all his ego, can't fucking read anything. Illiteracy is no goddamn joke. Floyd Mayweather, however, as a human being, is a goddamn joke. And I don't want to fucking hear anybody defend him. I don't want to hear anybody, white, black, or any race, Hispanic or anything, defend Floyd Mayweather. Is Floyd Mayweather an entertainer? Yes, he is. Does he know how to promote himself? Yes, he does. Does he know how to pick tomato cans at the end of their career or people that he has no business fighting to get the most money and hype it up? Yes, he does. He's the best defensive fighter I've ever seen. But the problem is Floyd is a piece of shit. And here's why Floyd's a piece of shit. Because he only hits women. He's a piece of trash. What does he say? People don't like the truth. He speaks like a real man spoke. Real men speak like, man, he just says a whole bunch of stuff. He just says a whole bunch of shit. A whole bunch of damn shit. Yeah, I agree. It's like, I'm a man. You know what I'm saying? You know who I am? It's like, I feel people shy away from realness. This man didn't do nothing. Listen, if y'all didn't want the man in the White House, y'all should have voted the other way. Now, that's one of the only things that Floyd says is right. Clearly, he didn't read it off of a cue card because he can't fucking read because he's a piece of shit. But that is one of the few points where he actually showed some coherency in that stupid domestic violence, punch-addled brain of his. And it's funny, let's see. He did what he had to do and he got there. Yeah, Floyd, he lied to people. Just like you've lied to people. Oh, you didn't hit women. See, you don't want to talk about it. You don't want women at your press conferences because women reporters would dare to call you out on your bullshit. And the fact that you should be in jail. And I'm just going to say as much, any domestic abuse. If it's a woman hitting a woman hitting a man hitting a man, a man hitting a woman. And it's not self-defense, let me just make that clear. Somebody's not trying to kill you. You hitting somebody, your partner, just because you can, you deserve to go to jail. And Floyd didn't spend that much time. Floyd spent some time in jail. He didn't spend enough time. He didn't spend enough time to get taught what it feels like to be somebody's bitch. And that's what Floyd is. Floyd's a little bitch. And I'd say that to his face. He wouldn't have the guts to actually hit me because he only hits women. Floyd Mayweather is a little bitch. Hulk Hogan is a little bitch. I wasn't going to do any kind of angry rant. I was going to try to be positive about stuff. Even when I do, lists of the worst. Like worst wrestlers and worst, pay-per-views and this kind of stuff. I was going to try and put a spin on it and have some fun jokes. I don't have any jokes here. Hulk Hogan deserves no sympathy. Floyd Mayweather doesn't deserve any damn sympathy. That's how a real man talks. Floyd, if you knew what it was like to be a real man, see, you can't spell real man. Somebody would have to spell it out for you, spot you every letter except the E. And even then, you probably couldn't figure out where it goes because you're an idiot. That's how a real man talks? No. Because real people don't actually degrade women or men like that. They'll make jokes. They'll have fun. Guys with, their guy friends. Oh, yeah, I'd love to sleep with her or something like that. I'm paraphrasing, obviously, and not going to use the actual words as some guys might. Sure, you get a group of guys together. One might get riled up about, yeah, I'm going to go ask that girl. And he gets punched out in the bar. Because she has a boyfriend or a husband. Or, a bunch of women that get together. Oh, this guy's really cute or whatever. Look, there's no excuse for any kind of domestic abuse, as I just said. But I don't want to hear anybody try to defend what Floyd said. Oh, that's how a real man talks. Well, Floyd, when you know what it's like to be a real man, guess what? Maybe when you're nearly dead, you might know what it's like to be a real man. Maybe when you're penniless, which, by the way, with how you burn through money and how you haven't paid your taxes in a couple years because you're an idiot and you can't manage your money, maybe when you are brought down to earth by karma, you will understand what it's like to be a real man. Since you have no character, you have no heart, you have no soul, you don't know what it's like to be a real man. I admit I've made mistakes. I've made plenty of mistakes. The one thing I've never done is hit a woman. At one point, one of my girlfriends got in my face. I pushed her on the bed to get her away from me. I was so disgusted I went in and cried in the bathroom. And yeah, people could pick on me because I did that, but that's because I was raised to be a real man and to not raise my hand to a woman. What if somebody bitch smacked you, Floyd? See, it's a damn shame that some fighter, that some boxer in the ring didn't actually cave his head in. Because I'm sorry, Floyd Mayweather deserves to be humbled like that. In a boxing ring, of course. See, and he's probably actually afraid to have women at his press conferences because he knows that women actually could beat him up. See, he's a coward that only hits women, but I guarantee there's a ton of women that could beat his ass. Floyd's scared. Floyd's a scared little man. Just like Hulk Hogan's a scared little man. Both are two scared little men. They ain't ever getting up there. And I ain't a religious person, but I ain't stretching the imagination. They ain't getting up there. Especially Floyd Mayweather. Hogan? Who knows? Hogan might. But karma's going to get him. Karma gets everybody. Karma's gotten me a few times for stuff I've done in the past. But I don't want to hear anybody defend Hogan on this. If you want to, that's fine. Have your opinions. I don't want to hear anybody defend Floyd. Floyd deserves no respect. And if you guys think that Floyd deserves respect, well, you're fucking wrong. And how dare you stick up for a woman abuser? Anybody that hits their partner and takes advantage of them like that, and hits a guy that hits women, or a guy that hits a guy, or any of that stuff that I just said, or a woman that hits her boyfriend or her husband, any of that domestic abuse where you're taking advantage of your partner, that's no excuse. So no, Floyd, that's not how a real man talks. You wouldn't know what it's like to be a real man. You never will. You'll never understand what it's like to grow up. I would say your father's embarrassed for you, but no, your father probably taught you this stuff. So Floyd, hopefully your kid that you abused the mother of that child in front of him, hopefully that kid grows up to be a better man than you ever are, than you ever could be. Hopefully he leaves you in his dust and says, I don't want to be influenced. I'm going to be better than that guy. Because Floyd, karma will get you. It gets everybody. It's gotten me. It gets everybody. And when it does, Floyd, you deserve no sympathy. How a real man talks. You want to, sympathize or, and like agree with Donald Trump about that. No. Especially about those comments. Degrade women like that. Fuck you, Floyd Mayweather. And sorry, Hogan, fuck you too. Oh yeah, and fuck Donald Trump. By the way, check my Twitter handle, it's in the description. You can like, share, subscribe if you want. And this has been Real Honesty with John Ritlin. I'm John Ritlin. And fuck Floyd Mayweather.